Hi everyone, Miss Val here with this week's Sunday school lesson from All Saints Lutheran Church. So you guys, we've been talking about virtues for the last few weeks, and so today we're going to talk about another virtue, and this virtue is hope. So behind me you'll see hope. We're going to do something with this piece of paper here in a little bit. So, what is hope? What does it mean? And I think the best way to think about it is hope is knowing in your heart that something good is going to happen, or an expectation, expecting something good to happen. Like, when a woman is pregnant, we're going to have a baby, and they say she's expecting. And that's so expectation is a good word. It's expecting something good to happen and having that feeling inside that something good's going to happen. So it makes you feel good inside when you have that. So we're going to do a little object lesson here to explain hope. So and again, it's something you feel inside. You don't necessarily see it. You don't know for sure that it's going to happen. You just have this good feeling about an expectation that something good's going to happen. So we're going to do a little object lesson with some pennies and a glass of water. And there's a really good Bible verse that we're going to keep in mind when we do this. And this Bible verse comes from the book of Romans, chapter 15, and it is verse 13. And it says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." And sometimes on some of our services at church, at the end of service, we say that verse before we leave church for this after the service. So it is part of our service a lot of times. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move the camera down so you can see this. I have a glass on a plate here, and I have some pennies, and I have this pitcher of water. Okay. So what we're going to do is think of this glass as your life, and this water is all the hope that you have in your life. So maybe you hope that you'll be healthy, right? That you'll be a healthy person, and you hope that you'll get a good education. So we'll put that in there. And maybe you hope that you get married one day. Put that in there. And maybe you hope that you will be successful in your life, like whatever job you decide to have, that you'll be successful and good at it. So we have all that hope in our life there, right? It's a pretty full life, right? All that hope. It's pretty full. This glass is pretty full. But um, these pennies are going to be more years of hope in your life. So if we add these pennies to the glass, how many pennies do you think we're going to get in there before it overflows? So think of this, and pennies are just small things, right? It's not, but they can make a big difference. So let's see if how many pennies. I don't have too many here, so we're going to see if how many I can get in there and whether it'll make the glass overflow. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I had 20 pennies I put in there, and I don't know if you can see, but the water has overflowed onto the plate. So if you think about how much hope that God puts in our lives every day, little things, right? That God puts in our lives, so much so that our life just overflows, like this glass overflowed with hope, because just by adding little pennies to it, and God gives us our whole lives full of hope. And so just little things that he does. Maybe he has a beautiful day outside, right? And that makes you feel hopeful. Feels like good stuff's going to happen today when you wake up and it's so nice outside. Little things like that. Maybe you hear a bird um, tweeting in the trees, and that's little thing that God sometimes does to give us hope for our life. So we're gonna so if we fill our lives with joy and we trust in God, He will fill our lives with joy and peace, right? And to the point that it just overflows, like this water overflows in onto the plate from this glass. Now, how do we fill our lives with hope? Well, first of all, we trust in God. We follow His um, what do I want to say? We follow his lead. He's a good example. We follow his example. We follow Jesus' example of how he treated people. And if we do all that, um, our lives will be full and overflowing with joy. So just like these pennies, there's just the little things. Little things can add up to a big deal, right? So what are some little things that you can do to help others feel hope? Maybe you fill your day with hope by smiling at people, and that helps their day be filled with hope. Or maybe you give somebody a hug, or maybe you smile at somebody or say thank you to somebody. All these little actions that we can do each day fill our lives with hope and could fill other people's lives with hope. And that's exactly what we want to do. So, um, all this hope and joy and peace that God gives to us, this can add up to many years of hopeful living, and it makes our lives um, important and makes our lives uh, fun to live, right? If you're not a hopeful person, life can be kind of sad. So it's important that we have the virtue of hope. So what I'm going to do with this paper behind me is I'm going to create a word cloud. And what that means is in the middle of the cloud is the main point of what we're doing. So in this case, the main word is hope. And around the outside of that word, I'm going to put up some words that when I think about them, it makes me what makes you feel hopeful, or what words, or what do you think about when you feel hopeful? Do you feel maybe a word is optimistic, like you see things are going to be good, or maybe a word, something that makes you feel hopeful is getting a hug from a friend. So we're going to put up a couple words here and start creating a word cloud about the word of hope. So the first word I'm going to put up there is, oops, my tape came undone, so I'm going to fix it really quickly so you can see my word is, here, this word, whoop, this word, connection. So when I make connection with other people, it makes me feel hopeful. Like when I go to church and I connect with all the people at church, or when I come to work and I connect with the people at work. That makes me feel hopeful. So I'm going to put that up on my word cloud. I'm going to put it over here, maybe like that. Okay? Now, another word that I think of is family. When I think about my family, and I am with my family, it makes me feel hopeful because we love each other and we help each other and support each other. So family makes me feel hope. So I'm going to put that up on the board. And I'm going to put that over here on the side like that. Yeah, let's see. A couple other words we could use. How about an important one? God. When you think about God, does that make you feel hopeful? I hope so. What do we do when we think about God? Maybe we pray, and maybe praying makes us feel hopeful. So I think God is a very important word to put around our virtue of hope on the wall. So I'm going to put that one up too. I think I'm going to put that one right up here in the middle, right there. Let's see. How about another one? I've got just a couple more examples. This one is humor. So that means like maybe somebody tells you a joke, or sometimes if something bad's happening and you can kind of laugh about it, that can make you feel hopeful and kind of get over maybe the bad day, right? If you maybe watch something funny or hear a joke or try to think about something think about your situation in a different way that maybe is a little funny. So I'm going to put the word humor up there because I know when I am feeling, if I hear something funny or tell a joke, or somebody tells me a joke, it makes me feel better. So I'm going to put the word humor up there. So let's see, where can we put that? How about if we stick it right in here like that? Okay, and finally, a big one for me is coming up. You know, right now we're in the season of Lent, and that is leading us up to a very special day that I think is just the epitome of being hopeful, and that is Easter. Because Easter is when Jesus rose from the dead, right? I mean, how can that not be the most hopeful and inspiring day or word that comes to mind when we think about hope, especially at church? So I'm going to put the word Easter up on the board too. So we've started to make a cloud, and what we're going to do is, you can do this at home too. There's even programs on the internet. If you look up, if you do a search on word cloud generator, you can make one on the internet and print it out. I'm going to take this one to church, and I'm going to have the congregation add words to it, and pretty soon it's going to look like a cloud of words, and all the words are what people at church are, make them think about hope and being hopeful. So I'm going to hopefully get a lot of people to add words to it, and then we'll put it up on the Sunday school bulletin board in the front hallway across from the fireside room. So hopefully you'll be at church this week and you can add your word to our hope word cloud. I hope you all are having a great day, and we will see you soon for Sunday school. Bye, everyone.